Hello and welcome to How to Make a Bunker by Zach Carnage. So to begin with making a bunker, what we're going to use is, for the basic build, just an old ice cream carton. Here you can see, started priming it black and we've cut out some windows using a pair of scissors. Just a rough idea, those are going to be cleaned up a bit later on. And this is going to be the main building. Now it's important to keep the scale correct. So you have to make sure that your miniatures will be able to fit through any doors that you put in, and will be able to look through any windows that you have cut into the building. And this will help to reinforce the feel of the game. And it will also mean that when you actually put your miniatures in, they'll be able to look through the windows and it will seem very cool. So that's the basic idea behind it. There's just a Chaos Space Marine. And that's the basic building. So next what you're going to need is a base to put the building onto. So here we've got a hard wooden base. This is actually made of quite thick wood that we're going to sand down a bit later. But for now this is just a rough idea of something that you could use. So here we have the bunker again. And I've already drawn around it once, but I'm just going to do that again just to really reinforce the pencil line on the base. And by drawing around your bunker, it then means that you have a reference later on for any details that you want to add to the base. So just draw around it with pencil and take it off, and you've got a nice pencil line there showing where your bunker is. Now the good thing about using pencil is you can always rub it out, but for now we'll just leave it like that. So here's another look at the base from a different angle. You can see I've drawn on some extra stuff, some markers, and it's also important to add extra details like these barrels here. Now you add extra details to try and help with the narrative, obviously, so it's good to find any bits that you can. What we've got here is a transmitter from one of the old vehicle sprues. They might still be shipping that. And the other thing we've got here, this is an old box for a very small set of cards. So all of these things can be used. You can use any bits that you have lying around in your house. And here's how they can be organised on the base. This is just a rough idea for now. So you can see that the spacing is quite important. You want to make sure that the space between the bunker and the objects will allow your miniatures to go through. Or vice versa, if you don't want your miniatures to be able to get through a certain point, then make sure that they can't. So here I've just made sure that all of the spaces are adequate for a Chaos Space Marine to be able to walk through here. Although some of them are a bit small, so that means that things like Terminators won't be able to walk past. The next thing to consider is how you're going to glue down your different pieces. You can use various types of glue. This is the Citadel plastic glue, the thick one. We're probably not going to use that because it's quite expensive and probably best to save for plastic miniatures. What I'll mainly be using is this PVA glue, which actually came with the Battle for Macragge set, or Macragge, however you want to pronounce it, and never got around to using it, so I'm going to use it for this. So this is how everything's been organised. You want to make sure, well, you need to decide really what you're going to glue down. For this we're not going to glue down the bunker, because I want to be able to pick that up so you can put miniatures inside of it during the game. But things like these barrels, they can stay exactly where they are, so what we're going to do is take a bit of PVA glue and just put a nice generous amount of that onto the board. And then once you've done that, you can take any sort of brush, or in this case a piece of card we're going to use, and use that to spread out the PVA glue so that it takes up a larger area, because otherwise you'll be wasting large amounts of glue. In cases like this, it is actually appropriate to use a bit too much glue, because when we get on to adding the grass and rocks a bit later, that's going to help make it seem like the barrels have been here for a long time and very used to being covered in grass and rocks. So then you take the barrels again and simply press them into the glue. Make sure they fit in very strongly. We'll have one line down, just to add a bit of variety. And once you put those in, you just need to wait for it to dry. Just make sure they're all firmly in, and yeah. So the next thing we're going to look at is designing a control panel to go in the bunker in the front here. Now the reason for that is it just helps to add a bit of narrative, and you can always make it removable, and if you do something like that, then it helps with mission objectives and things. So for that we're going to use this piece of plastic that I've had lying around, and it's going to fit in there, something like that. So we need to be able to cut it out, and we need to have the correct shape of the bunker for that. So if I just line these up, we're going to take a Sharpie pen and use that to mark on the edge of the bunker onto the piece of plastic. It's a bit hard to see the plastic because it's clear, but just draw on there. And then when we cut that out, it will fit with the bunker. So just draw down there. And now it's ready to cut. So here we have the cut version. Now it looks a bit bare at the moment, so we're going to try and add some details in a minute, but you can see that the edge will fit to the inside of the bunker later on, and that's going to work quite well. You can see it's got all these different details on it, but we're going to add a bit more to the top. So for this, what I've done is I've taken a couple of bits of old sprue and actually some of Games Workshop's liquid green stuff, and I use that to mould a couple of screens or buttons on the front. You can use a toothpick to make sure that all of the edges stay in place, and those are just those grey bits are just cut off bits of a sprue. So now it's ready to be painted. Don't forget to check out part 2 of how to make a 40k bunker by simply clicking on the link.